Rajesh Gopinathan, the new man in charge at TCS, joins us right here on ET. Now, thanks very much for being with us. You are now the man in charge of India's largest software exporter, TCS. How has week one been for you, and what clearly are your priority areas?
So the first week has been a bit of a, we should say, whirl. Getting to grips with the whole transition itself is going to be the biggest priority. It's come about a bit faster than what we had anticipated, and we are focusing on ensuring that clients get the comfort that they need. There's a lot of comfort internally because the structures are well understood, the people are known, and Chandra's continuity as the chairman will provide us a kind of an extended transition window, but we are just reaching out to mostly to our customers and making sure that they have the confidence that we are focused on serving the customer. There's no disruption inside the company, and we are on the same journey that we have been last week.
Rajesh, a lot of your classmates from both REC and IIM recall you as a quiet guy, but somebody razor sharp with numbers. And I'm given to understand at TCS that you can deliver numbers at the end of the quarter on day one itself. What's your leadership style really going to be like?
I am a lot about empowering, delegation. So it's like the number focus is actually you increase the transparency and you can actually let people make their own decisions. So we have gone through this structure. I was part of the team that designed the structure with Chandra of the ISU structure. We have taken that even further, one level further down, where we are empowering many more units at a very small granular level, and that's the way we will operate. Our account teams, our unit teams are fully empowered. They know what they are expected to do, and they are the closest to the customer and to the ground, and they got to make the calls. And we have the systems and the processes in place to manage the risk that arises out of it. And that's the kind of style that I prefer, where I let the teams run with it, and you manage the portfolio.
Rajesh, when N. Chandra took over, he was groomed by Ramodar Roy for a very long time as CEO. He also managed a big client like GE. How are you going to make the most of what seems to be a sudden transition right now?
I've been working continuously with Chandra for the last 15, 16 years. I worked with him in various roles. When I joined the company, we were going through a kind of a similar transition. I joined around 2000, 2001. That was if you recall, we were getting out of the Y2K boom. And the general perception was that this industry is going to roll over and die. And Chandra was setting out a fairly ambitious agenda to move very aggressively into the e-business space. And e-business was then what digital is today.
Right, today, yes.
It seemed like an impossible task, and there were a lot of skepticism around it. When I joined, we were doing less than 100 million in e-business.
Right.
And we were setting a target for growing to 500 million. And so I've been through that. I've been in pre-sales, then I came back and I worked at the operations side as we dealt with our financial focus post our listing. So, I've been part of many of these things, and just from a grooming perspective, I've had the benefit of working very closely with Chandra. I worked earlier with Mr. Ramdurai, with Maha in my earlier role. So a lot of continuity, a lot of commonality.
I'm going to ask you a little uncomfortable question. One of the key concerns perhaps is that you have obviously gone past many TCS veterans to become the CEO. Is a senior level exit or attrition then a given, and will you be making really your own team at TCS?
Absolutely not. Two things to that. As I said, Chandra's continuance as the chairman is going to be a great comfort. But more importantly, these are people that I worked with continuously day in and day out. And the way the structure is, anyway I was sitting from a corporate office perspective, anyway I was reviewing their performance.
Right.
And in many key decisions participating. And the decision-making style is that the unit heads take the final call and corporates provides its inputs to it. So it's not going to be a very dramatic shift in terms of the style of dealing with things.
Right.
And all of us know each other. All of us are comfortable with each other. So I don't expect any of that
So
kind of a...
just quickly, in terms of strategy, IT seems to be facing this new normal where there will be perhaps new H-1B visa rules, at least reviewed H-1B visa rules. And then, of course, in terms of demand all over the world, what is going to be your strategy in this new normal that IT faces?
You need to look beyond this visa rhetoric, which is more of a political one. Think about it this way. The industry is where it is, not because of one visa regulation or some loose regulation somewhere. The industry reacted to two things. Huge demand, right? And a huge supply constraint.
Right.
So really it is a supply-demand equation, and that equation does not dramatically change. So we will have impact from a political risk perspective, which needs to be dealt with. But it's not about one region or one entry barrier. We are serving global enterprises, we are serving the global supply chains,
Right.
and we are very tightly integrated with the global supply chains. So I think that we are kind of taking it from a very narrow, very short-term lens. Yes, the political risk is real and will have to be dealt with. But there are multiple levers available to that. And at the end of the day, it is the demand-supply scenario. And technology is the single largest demand anywhere in the world. There is no other skill other than technology that is so much in demand.
Right.
And it's just booming through. And that's what's visible here also.
Right.
Every single industry, whether it is a bank, whether it is a logistics company, whether it's a travel company, whether it's healthcare, the single biggest skill set that they want is technology. And we're sitting on 400,000 of the best technology professionals in the world. We will figure out a way to serve the clients.
Rajesh, two questions. The new H-1B visa rules perhaps will warrant you to hire more locally, and that's the trend that the industry is going to see. What does this do to your margins? And because elections are now over in the US, do you see client spending now coming back, spending that was perhaps on hold?
So the second part of the question is easier one to say. There is definitely an uptick in the US demand and environment and the sentiment, and we expect demand to come back up. And within that, so if you look at it, as demand picks up, that should provide a lot of support to overall. The growth shall provide support. And cost structures will depend finally on what the specifics are. We are significantly... rejigging our overall global employee mix and creating a very hybrid delivery model where we are hiring significantly from the campuses, and we are investing in creating the supply in the local markets that we serve in, which has been an ongoing activity. So we are now among the largest hirers of technology talent anywhere in the globe, in any of the markets we operate in.
If I may take a last question with you, and this really has to do with how TCS is structured right now. You've got these verticals and geographies, and you have people empowered, and that has made TCS a very nimble organization. That was Chandra's strategy. Do you believe now that TCS is a behemoth, you need to revisit that strategy, that structure?
Oh, no. I would in fact double down on that strategy. As I said, we'll go down further and break it up even more into smaller units. Remember, it's the same theme, whether you call it big data, or whether you call it drones. It's a swarm of autonomous, self-organizing, self-healing, intelligent units that operate individually and collectively. So that's the direction that the world is going towards in every form. And organization structures will also follow that. And we have the systems, the processes, the experience to do that. So it's more of what you see. It's going to be more granular, more independent, more autonomous units.
So TCS has a new CEO. When will it have a new CFO?
Need to find one and we'll announce that in due course.
On that note, thanks very much, Rajesh, for speaking to us. Pleasure talking to you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.